is our last moment. With such consciousness, Mama had reached her complete and perfect stage. After Mama left her body, Shiv Baba spoke through Brahma Baba's body. Sweet children, Saraswati's picture has always been shown in her youth form on the path of devotion. She has never been portrayed in the age of retirement like the picture of Brahma. Children, have you ever thought of the significance behind this memorial? This means that Mama, our Saraswati's part, is only meant to be until this age in her physical body. However, she is also a world mother. She will continue to play her part in this subtle form. After Shiv Baba's message, now the children in Madhuban were preparing for Mama's last rites. Everyone was in deep silence during these days. The atmosphere was filled with power of deep love for Mama. While preparing Mama's physical costume for the last rites, Brahma Baba lovingly reminded everyone, "See, children, Mama was a complete yogi soul. There is no one like Mama in this entire world. She is unique in her form and her part. She has never touched impurity. No one has ever seen her with an impure attitude or vision. This is why, during Mama's last rites, we also have to remain in such a yogyukta stage. Only those who are pure like lotus and clean like a swan can be part of this memorial rites." Mama's body was decorated with beautiful garlands of flowers. It was taken around Madhuban and finally reached its final destination. While observing this final scene, many children's hearts were filled with glimpses of Mama's entire journey. With a pure and love-filled heart, everyone saw how Mama's body was now all covered with the protection of fire. The body of such an elevated soul was now merged into the 5 elements. Everyone paid their last tribute to Mama. After this day, Brahma Baba had taken the role of being both the mother and the father of the yajna. His presence and sustenance had made sure that no child would ever feel the lack of Mama's presence. Such was the part of our Adi Dev and the Adi Devi.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Vikti Parivar. Today is day 28. Smriti Swarup, Jagadamba, lap of love. Love heals and forgives. Mama's mantra. I perform elevated and true actions and follow God's directions. So why should I be scared? Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. One of the most important quality, which is actually the first one in Mama, was her purity. Today, I was thinking that because of Mama's purity, her love will bring power to the soul. Her love was pure love. That means there was no expectation, there was no like, dislike. It was from soul consciousness. And for Mama, purity was very, very natural. Yes, she very quickly, when she came to Baba, she did leave home and start staying with Baba. But I don't think she had to renounce much in the sense of other vices because she was very pure Kanya. That is why when Baba asked her that you will have to play the part of mother, she immediately accepted. And when she accepted, whether with sisters, mothers, brothers, she was very, very loving, very loving. Mama's purity of mind, that she didn't have, like ups and downs of sanskars. Some days happy, not happy, in full day, sometimes enthusiastic or tired. She was never. Because of her purity, she was very consistent whole day. Anytime you see her in the morning, noontime, nighttime, and I think that most important was that sparrows didn't come, right? No, Baba said yesterday, we get to play part, and it's Baba who gives us the specialties and the part. But my specialty, as soon as that thought comes, I am the one who is special. My part is special. So, as Baba said, the sparrow makes a hole in the fruit, and that fruit doesn't have really, you cannot offer it in. You cannot do offering of a fruit which has a hole, right? So just to have this thought, even very subtly, yes, Baba says, consider yourself to be a special and elevated soul. That is different. That is self-respect. But, we all had been given so many beautiful qualities. Like at least I feel in my life that everything I have or I was able to do is because of Baba. Otherwise, we all would have lived an ordinary life and engaged, busy, making money with the family. But it's Baba's blessings. He makes us instrument, and while playing part, keep giving us blessings. So we have to be very careful of this. Sparrow is very little, right? But when these birds come on the tree, as soon as you find the fruit is emerging, you see so many birds. I and mine, I and mine. So Mama, her mind was very pure. Such an important role she was playing. So she had intoxication. She knew that it's a special part. But I word didn't come in Mama's mind. And then there was no word like mine, no. She was loving to everyone, everyone. No intimate relationship anywhere. She was very close in the sense of even I had very close relationship with Mama. But there was nothing like subtly even people will notice friendship but not the favor. Huh? That Mama gave me more toli or Mama said, I will only take care of her. No. Very, very equally have love for everyone. Her intellect was never impressed by anyone's opinions. Many people give you so many different kinds of advice, directions, opinions. It's only Baba, Baba's knowledge, Baba's directions were in her intellect. That was real purity. And never, never I saw her. She has very, very beautiful natural beauty, but she never, never had any attraction. I never heard any story. I was there 2 few years where Mama wanted a particular way of hairstyle or particular way of dresses or something more. Very simple, but really had charm. And I say she was very powerful, loving, and beautiful. But still, there was no body consciousness. Her mother was in Yagya. Mother, sister, auntie, she was in Yagya. You all must have seen some of you in Shantivan. There was Shantamani Dadi, was Mama's mother, sister, auntie. That you will never know that. So no desires, no attraction, no influence. That is why her love had power because she had such deep level of purity. Yes, she had lot to take care of, whether it is departments, whether it is so many brothers and sisters, Baba's children, 300 plus children. But she never was lacking in her personal efforts. I have to do so much, so I couldn't do good Amrit Vela. I had to do so much, so I couldn't listen to Murli. Her timetable was perfect. Her efforts, and all that was because when there is purity, you have this inner power. Of course, love for Baba, respect for Baba, but also capacity from the purity allows us that we could create, integrate self efforts and service. Because service was not separate for her, as she has to take care of family. And whenever there were any situations from society, Baba used to send her, tell her that, Mama, you have to go and talk to these people. So, as much I think about her purity, love from her purity. So, all of us, if we want to follow Mama, then definitely we have to look at the power of purity, increase our purity of soul consciousness so that our vibrations, attitude, our drishti, everything just empower other souls, create power, create courage, all the virtues. So, Mama, from very beginning, had very, very natural remembrance also, Baba, very natural. We had to ask her, Mama, ever you forget Baba? She can't imagine. How can you forget one who is your beloved, one who is your uh, different relationships? These days, remembrance is like a subject, right? Say yoga. We have to remember. In Lokik life, do you ever say, I have to remember my mother, I have to remember my teacher? No. It's natural, no? And that's coming from purity, that's coming from soul consciousness. Because as much we practice soul consciousness, there's very, very natural pull of Baba. And also clarity of what I should be doing, my power to discern, and feelings of love for everyone, and no attraction, no influence. I never saw Mama as any trace of any vice, either ego or attachment or greed, nothing. So each one of us has to look at that more we practice soul consciousness, that is in corporeal stage, then we become viceless. And the vibrations which spread from the soul are vibrations full of love. So no one gives love to everyone, but your personality, your being, your vibrations, in a very natural way, gives the experience of God's love. God's love is also very powerful because He is ever pure. He is ever pure. So naturally from purity, His love also gives us power. Not only that, but Baba is also purifier. No? Our sorrows are removed. Our sins are burned in remembrance because of His purity. So as much we also become pure, our talk, our words, our drishti can remove the sorrows, can also create hope in others, make them fearless, make them strong. Many experiences. So as much I think of purity and pure love from Mama, I find that, yes, that has power. So that's what now our main service will be. If souls want to experience belonging, experience power, so as much we increase uh, purity, pure love, only love with Baba, then we are able to serve in a very, very natural, beautiful way, very lovingly and also detached. So that's how our Mama was, as we heard, was very unique part. And Baba said, some or other, we know she's also playing part with Brahma Baba because there is only one Saraswati, right? How? I don't have answer, but I know that Baba, uh, he has his own way, beautiful, subtle ways to work with. So our love for Mama is unlimited. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So we will listen more about Mama. So would like to invite dear Brahma Kumari sister, Angel, Gayatri Ben. Welcome.
Shanti, everyone. And so today we're on the 6th day of looking at Mama and the Smriti Swarup that emerged from her lap, the lap of love. And so if we could have the homework slide. And so the homework for all day tomorrow, starting at Amrit Vela, is Mama's mantra of I perform elevated and true actions, and I follow God's directions. So why should I be scared? I found this a profound Mama's mantra because it is connected to the story, and you're going to see why. I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. This whole thing is I perform elevated and true actions on the basis of Baba's directions and follow God's directions. So why should I be afraid? Why should I be scared? So the practice of the Smriti Swarup, using these 3 strands, is first of all Mama's mantra of what makes us not afraid, and that is our actions and following of God's Srimat. But then also within that context, within the context of that mantra, how her lap, being in the lap of love, and for me, Mama's lap of love is what are the lessons that she's teaching us through her mantras that is creating a love, a very strong love inside of us that gives us the courage to follow those mantras. So if I really connect to what she's saying in her mantras, and then I'm understanding how she used the mantra in her life, then that love that I have for Mama is a love of strength. It emerges from my heart, a love that comes from her teachings and not just come, out of just making me feel good or doing something to please me or none of those. So her Smriti Swarup, that awareness that she embodied, that truth that she embodied in her awareness, gave us the strength of a love that helped us to follow those mantras that became so synonymous with her name. And so today's story is actually a story that shows forgiveness. And it shows how Mama's love forgives and how Mama's love heals. Now, in Baba's Murli, Baba usually says sometimes that if you steal a penny, you could actually steal hundreds of thousands, because that habit of stealing, you don't know how it will get magnified and how it could drive you to do things that you would never think yourself possible to do. But however, if you could steal a little bit, you could steal a lot. And so in this story of love heals and love forgives, it's a little bit like that if I can have the realization that of my actions connected to Srimat, then I'm not afraid of mistakes I've made. I will be able to correct it. So in today's story, it's a little mistake that was made, but it also shows if someone has the wisdom to forgive themselves on the basis of realization for little things, they would also have the capacity to do it for bigger things if they do commit bigger mistakes. So in the practicing of Smriti Swarup, while listening to the story, I would like us to look at these areas. So to be an embodiment, what is Smriti Swarup in the context of today's story? To be an embodiment of awareness is to be an embodiment of power. An embodiment of thinking is not an embodiment of power. Awareness is power. So that's beautiful. That was taken directly from Baba's Murli. To be an embodiment of awareness is to be an embodiment of power. An embodiment of thinking is not an embodiment of power. Awareness is power. So let's prepare for the practice. So we will sit on the seat of our form of being a bestower of blessings. Baba told us to do this on Sunday, to sit on your seat of the form of being a bestower of blessings. So I see that as our Swarup, being soul conscious. But who am I? A soul. What am I? A bestower of blessings. To forgive means to give blessings and the cooperation of your good wishes. So what awareness would come from sitting in that Swarup of being a bestower of blessings? The awareness would be, if I have to forgive someone, if I need to forgive myself or another, I need to give blessings and I need to give the cooperation of my good wishes. Today's story is from Daddy Bridge Shanta, and this is one of our daddies who used to be in Pune. So when we listen to Daddy Bridge Shanta's story on how love heals and love forgives, we will notice something. As we're listening, we will notice something emerging out of the story. And from the story was how her conscience gave her the realization to correct her mistake. And perhaps that guidance that Mama taught her, that mantra of Mama, she kind of practically applied it to her life at the time she made this mistake. And her conscience said, look, what you did was a mistake. And this mantra of, if I perform elevated and true actions and follow God's directions, why should I be scared? Why should I be scared of even my own mistake? So here's the story. It is episode 6 in our series, and it's the narrative from Daddy Bridge Shanta. And Daddy Bridge Shanta said, Mama was very merciful. Mama could not accept that someone could only reform through punishment. Mama believed a person who repents over their mistake, that is, he or she realizes their mistake and makes amends, is a good person and deserves forgiveness. Mama used to shower her love on such individuals. Every day while in Karachi, we used to wear our drill, our exercise uniforms, outfits, and go to the tennis court to exercise. Daddy Chandramani coordinated the drill, and Mama would accompany us occasionally. We wore training shoes for these exercises. One such occasional visit of Mama happened to be on a day that I wore slippers instead of the training shoes. Observing me, Mama asked why I hadn't worn my shoes, and I replied, Mama, I didn't wear them because my feet have been aching for the past 2 to 3 days. Later on, my conscience began to bite because I had lied to Mama. My feet hadn't been hurting at all, and I could have worn my shoes, but nonetheless, I lied to Mama. In those days, Baba used to tell us if someone makes a mistake, then he or she should forego the day's breakfast or one meal as a self-punishment. I remembered this direction and quickly served everyone and left. I had the duty of serving meals with Daddy Ata Mohini. We finished our duty of serving by 8 a.m. and Mama came down from her room at 9 a.m. Usually we would sit around her and she would have a daily court-like session with us. Everyone would own up to any mistakes they had committed. I stood up and I said that I had lied to Mama that same morning and that I had also punished myself. Then Mama asked me what mistake had been committed and which punishment was endured. I told her everything. Mama said, did you really not have breakfast? Mama too has not eaten. Come and have breakfast with Mama. I replied, no, Mama, I lied to you. Let me go through my punishment. Mama said, Bridge Shanta, Mama would like to have breakfast with you today. Won't you allow Mama to have breakfast with you? Mama held my hand and took me along with her, saying, I will not leave you behind and have breakfast on my own. Mama even fed me the first spoonful of the food. Mama was a compassionate and forgiving mother, filled with parental affection. Oh, wasn't that a sweet, sweet story? I mean, when I read it, I said, look at the little things and how Mama made her feel so good. So she was no longer scared of anything. But the point was that she followed that action, that true actions. You perform that true action based on Baba's directions. And so she wasn't scared to tell Mama. And further, the response from Mama was a love that healed and forgave. And so she was already healed and forgive, I suppose. So she was able to accept it on such a deeper level when Mama offered it to her. So let's practice together now. Remembering Mama's mantra, I perform elevated and true actions and follow God's directions. So why should I be scared? Love heals and forgives in the lap of love. Yet forgiveness is often the hardest thing to do, especially with the self. What Smriti Swarup is needed to forgive both others and the self? So when forgiveness is the hardest thing to do sometimes, especially with the self, what Smriti Swarup is needed to forgive both others and the self? Let us take that into our 3 minutes reflection, and then we'll do our collective yoga together.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Wonderful experience. So now we will remember Baba.
Good night, everyone. Good night.